with the least amount of cost or casualty. In a lot of different strategy books, like the 48 Laws of Power, also. One of the favorite laws that I noticed was to never necessarily outshine the master. But implying all this to the same note, to get back to this, is when you look at the Republican point of view or the Donald Trump point of view, do I like how he goes about it? No. Do I agree with everything? No. But do I believe that it can cause individuals to get on their A game? No different from, say, going into the Oracle against the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, Game 7, or any time when you're undermanned or you're an underdog and you're on their home court. I remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya back in 2007. He was the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Oscar De La Hoya was the biggest cash draw in boxing at the time. So it was deemed the pretty boy versus the golden boy. And the golden boy had all the power in negotiation. He chose the weight class. Floyd had never fought at 154. He had to come up and weight and fight at 154 because Oscar De La Hoya made sure that he had the power in negotiation. If he wanted to fight, you had to fight on his terms. So Oscar De La Hoya made the bigger portion of the purse. Oscar De La Hoya chose the gloves, not only that would be worn in the fight, but he chose the gloves that Floyd would wear. Floyd had to wear the gloves that he told him to wear. Floyd had to fight him in the weight class that he chose. Floyd had to fight in the ring that Oscar was comfortable in. So Oscar wanted him to be in a smaller ring because Oscar didn't want Floyd to be able to run around all night. But Floyd, understanding his skill level, his talent level, and what he was bringing to the table, he knew there was no way Oscar could beat him. So he was fine with whatever terms Oscar threw his way. He was like, when it came down to it, I'm going to beat you. He had maximum confidence and belief in his skills that he had worked on, that he had developed over the years. He was fighting a bigger man, but he knew he was flawed. He knew Oscar liked to drink. He knew Oscar was a little up in age. Reflexes had slowed down. He had studied Oscar. He had knew he was going to fight Oscar for years. He had wanted to fight Oscar for years. In fact, he turned down an $8 million fight against a guy who ended up being somebody who, in my eyes, in my opinion, should have been banned for boxing, from packing his gloves, Antonio Margarito. Bob Arum, who wanted Floyd to take a loss before Floyd became an independent businessman and signed with Mr. Al Heyman, one of the two most revered people in my life that I look up to and I admire. Both him, between Al Heyman and James Prince out of H-Town, which just so happens to be the location of myself, born and raised, and where I'm making this video right now. But he fought Oscar De La Hoya on his terms and got a split decision. In a fight that I believe that he won clearly. Should have been a unanimous decision. But at the end of the day, it was a Golden Boy promoted fight on Golden Boy's terms, platform, and he still won. At the end of the day. So when we look at our desire and our goal, which is to win and become victorious in life and in anything that we're looking to accomplish, one can't always look at the obstacles or what have you. We must look at believing in ourselves, focusing on the why and what we're looking to accomplish, and doing what's best for us as individuals, as a whole, or whatever unit you represent, whether it be a people, whether it be a culture, whether it be a country. But back to what Donald Trump said in this quote when he talked about back in the year of 1988 in an Oprah interview, when asked about a presidential run and winning, he even used his signature "believe me." He said, "I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I would be inclined, I would say I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me." Now, that's what he was saying back then, because he was pretty much almost looking to promote himself in that direction. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about somebody who had this on his mind for many years. Literally, we're talking about interviews that took place 30 years ago. 30 years ago. You know, I mean, and then we look at LeBron James, who I brought up. We're talking about somebody who designed and wanted to be the best at a very young age, saw the opportunity that he could be that. But how many people do you think pick up a basketball every day? Since the time of when he was like 10 years old, which would have been 1994, when he said he first started really playing basketball. So from 1994 to 2000, 2001, me being one of the guys around this country playing basketball around that age, when we were in high school together. How many of us really believed we could be the greatest of all time at the sport of basketball? I can basically say straight up and down, yeah, the thought crossed my mind. I never believed I would become the greatest basketball player to ever live. Why? Because Michael Jordan was 6'6". I was 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9". But at that same time, there was somebody by the name of Nate Robinson who was shorter than me that believed he could make it to the NBA, and he actually did. Who believed he could win the dunk contest, and he actually did. You can have, be, or do anything you want in this life. You can accomplish anything you desire to become, if you only believe. If one should have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can look at the mountain and tell it to move, and it'll move. And how is that possible? When impossible is nothing. Nothing is impossible when you have the belief, the desire, and the ability to understand your own value, your own skill set. Be willing to put in the time to focus on your why, not the how.